Personally, I believe that it has not glorified sexual violence, but that it has made sexual violence more readily available to the general person. And I think that it existed before and it still exists now, but the fact that you can see it just makes it more present in our society, but it doesn't glorify it, doesn't change the image we have of it.
Yeah, no, agreed. It doesn't actively engage in glorifying the sexual violence within pornography. It just facilitates people's access to it. So, no.
I do believe that pornography has glorified sexual violence. When people watch pornography, and especially pornography that exhibits violence, they might believe that in the real world, sexual violence is erotic and in a sense is what is supposed to happen, when in fact it's not. It might just be a fantasy of a person who just watches pornography and believes, okay, this is what I like, this is what I want to do, but you can't actually transpose this into the real world.
No, I don't agree with the statement. There's not much sexual violence in pornography, well at least I don't think there is, and even if there is, I think people can distinguish the difference between pornography and the kind of sexual encounters you'll have with your partner. I don't think a lot of people think it's the same thing. The stuff they see in pornography, I don't know if they relate it to their actual personal sexual endeavours.
Yeah, I think it definitely has glorified sexual violence in the way that there's just so much content, and I think it provides a demand for a need for a lot of people to see vicariously sexual violence and domination. I don't know whether this is necessarily abnormal, because I do believe as well that power dynamics are really important in sex anyway, but it's the fact that porn is the epitome of commercialization, and it definitely normalizes sexual violence. Not only to women, I think it works on both ways, but it is predominantly domination of women in porn.
It's been a way for males to teach themselves some sexual aspects of life which their parents wouldn't necessarily want to teach them. I think it's a self-learning thing, so that's one positive aspect to it. I'm not going to go into details obviously, but I think some kids will take some advice from porn in a way, and also it's been a way. I think if it's excessive, if people watch porn excessively, it might also turn them from real life in a way. It will reduce their dependence on actually meeting women, which might have negative effects on their sexual life.
Obviously my background is Asian, I'm from China myself, and so China itself has been very traditional in terms of especially sexually, right? So back to the older generation, people thought there's a stigma as it's a bad topic to bring up, and I think in general society now is a lot more open up to experience different things, and obviously sexual violence, the way I interpret it, is something like the fetish and so on, right? And I think it's kind of inherent in people, they wouldn't explore new things, but then yet people weren't so open up to it. So I think pornography in terms of that is just a channel of society in general now expressing people can explore different things, and it's okay to that, right? Because I think not everyone has a fetish, but some people do, right? And then they don't want to expose themselves. And I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily glorify it, but I think it opens up to people and it tells them that in terms of sex you can do so much more.
Alright, so when we talk about whether pornography promotes sexual violence, I am definitely in the belief that so anything that involves children in particular, when that pornography content, when that sexual content has children in the picture, definitely somewhere there's a sort of, not violence per se, but there's abuse that comes into the picture. And when we look at something like domestic violence and all, often we say that why do we always blame pornography for something like that, but there are certain reasons. It's the content that matters.
So I don't think so, because it helps you get relieved from your desires, and it's some kind of catharsis effect. Yeah.